So for the Winans, you put in Winans, the first thing pop up is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Won't you please let me in? And you said, I will tomorrow.
Going to work at 17, these guys came in to rob us in the middle of winter. Like February, I never will forget that. He put out a gun and put your head to the ground. And that's what I did. He put the gun right to the back of my head. But I kept saying Jesus.
Please listen carefully. Please listen carefully.
You are enjoying the Full Tank Podcast, sponsored in part by Faith Words. Want a taste of my best-selling book, The Full Tank Life? Go to thefulltanklife.com and pull down a free sample chapter and order the book.
Today, my friend Ben Tankard has become known as the Godfather of gospel jazz. He sold millions of albums, pastors a church, travels the world sharing his music. Like with Ben, God is working behind the scenes, lining up what you need.
Hey guys, Ben Tankard here, Full Tank Podcast. Listen, I promised you I was going to be bringing you some great people, and today is no different. We've got a good friend of ours he's from a legendary family. Talk about a bunch of commas. The Full Tank Podcast is all about adding the next comma. What I mean by that? Well, you know me, I've started with pro basketball, got injured, got cut, got into music, then into flying, then into pastoring, then into podcasting, as a reality TV dad. Just who knows what the next comma is? But this guy has been a legend with his family for so many years, and he's on tour, and he decided to come hang with the Tank today, and we are so honored to have Carvin Winans Sr. with us on today. What's going on, Carv?
I'm good, brother.
Man, let me tell you something.
It's good to be here.
This is so funny. And then your lovely wife, Cherie, who's not going to be on camera. She's so cute, but she's so shy. I wish you could get another chair and get in here, but she's just in the shadows. But we're still going to be talking to you. But man, let me tell you, when I told my buddies that I had Carvin in the house, the word got out that Carvin was going to be on Full Tank Podcast. People start calling me. And you know what they were saying? Carvin, they said, when you get Carvin in the chair, ask him, where is the fountain of youth? Where is he? What kind of vitamins? What kind of Geritol? Because you know we know he went to high school with Moses, so he ain't 18 years old. But that joker look like he's 20. What's going on?
Man, you went to high school with Moses.
So man, welcome to the podcast. You look great, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it, man. It's so good to be here.
Yes,
good.
sir.
I haven't seen you in Lord knows when.
Man, the last time you saw me, Jesus was in diapers. In fact, Dre, give me that album back there behind you. We just gonna be
at that.
informal. The last time we hung out, I was promoting this.
Wow.
My solo album, which came out in 1989.
Wow.
That's back when we both had LPs.
Yep, absolutely.
Man,
wow.
So man, talk about the Winans family, where you come from, and just kind of catch us up.
We've been blessed for sure. We've been blessed for sure. And it's so funny because people ask me all the time, what was it like in the Winans household, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell them that I thought we were just like any other family. I thought that every family would take a time out in the day or in the evening before dinner, and their dad would call them around the piano and make them sing and rehearse and all that. I just thought that was the usual for any family.
Oh, you thought that was everybody?
I thought everybody
in
America was doing that.
Wow, wow.
It wasn't until we got into the business and I kind of looked from the outside in, right? After God had blessed us to do so much. And I said, man, and I kind of looked from the outside in. It's like, man, I guess we were kind of special because everybody wasn't doing that, know. And to have 10 kids and everybody could sing.
Hold up. You said 10.
Yeah, my mom and dad had 10 kids. 7 boys first and then 3 girls.
So that's where you get that fountain of youth from.
No, I'm going to tell you about that.
10 children.
But 10, yeah. 7 boys first and then 3 girls. And, you know, when you hear people complain about having one or 2 kids, you know, I don't know how my mom and dad did it. I really don't, but by the grace of God. And so, yeah, it was 10 kids. Everybody was doing that. And so when I got grown and we got into the business and things started happening, I was like, yeah, you know, this is kind of different. But, you know, the fountain of youth, that, you know, that's so funny that you would say that. But, you know, God has been good. My wife has me eating right. You know, I can't eat anything that I want. I haven't done that for years now.
So are you vegetarian or?
Oh, no. I ain't
Okay.
going to never be that.
Great.
I tell her, you know, it's like, I'm going to eat healthy, but when I want to eat something, I'm going to eat it.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
But
So you have cheat days.
Yeah.
when my wife is out of town and I can have a
You have a
hamburger,
cheat week?
that's called committing food adultery. Because she's
Yeah,
Brussels
wow.
sprouts and salad and all this stuff, and I'm really heavy into exercising. You know,
Yeah.
I still play basketball 3 or 4 times a week with young guys,
Right.
full court.
Yeah.
So I mean, if
Yeah, I ain't
I'm
doing
gonna
that.
keep running, I should be able to have a
No, I'll go to the gym.
hot dog.
Yeah, you should. I go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna ever be Hercules, but I'm gonna stay in shape too, because that also helps when it comes to singing, your breathing, and all that.
Right.
So we'll do that, and we got to eat healthy, and I don't mind that, but I ain't no vegetarian. And I ain't ever gonna be one, and I ain't gonna fool people and act like I'm one. No, because I'm gonna eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. But I just cut out a lot of that.
Well, you look healthy, and
Thank you,
she's
Ben.
doing a good job.
Yes, she
So,
does.
she's doing a good job keeping you healthy. Well, man, let me tell you, I have a debt of gratitude to you, Marvin. Every time I see Marvin, I give him an offering for his socks. Because he got this sock game that's, you know, every time I see him, I just give him a couple $100. I say, this is just for the sock anointing. I don't care what he got on. He going to have some tight socks on. Peanut going to have the socks.
Peanut. Yeah, you go way back. People don't know that. You know stuff that people don't know, man.
But
What's my nickname?
I never had one for you. I just always call you Carv.
Okay.
So what is it?
Butch.
Butch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kern used to
Peanut, Butch.
Kern used to call you Butch all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kern. Yeah, sure did.
But we go way back, y'all. Y'all just
We go way.
yeah, we just go way back. But I have a debt of gratitude because coming out of the NBA and getting injured, and not having to play one game, and going to a Pentecostal church and getting saved, and God anointing me to play jazz in church overnight, and me starting to record. That made me an outsider because I don't sing and I don't play traditional music.
Right.
And so you guys took the pressure off me because there was somebody else to talk about.
And they was talking about it.
The wineness is so contemporary.
Yeah.
And so y'all relieved the pressure. I could kind of sneak in the side door of gospel jazz because they was hating on you like they hating on Kirk now.
Yeah.
You guys were trendsetters back then.
Back then. I mean, the church, and it was so funny because the question is, but you know, when people when they came to us with that, I didn't really listen because our lyrics were always gospel sound.
Yeah.
The beat might have been a little funky, or you know, not the traditional type
But
gospel
the lyrics
music,
were
but
scripture.
the lyrics were sound.
Yes, sir.
And so when people came at us, like, you know, have you listened to the song? You know, and so that's what we had to build on. And so we took a lot of heat.
And the wine is fun, and your voice. See, all the guys were great, but I always liked your voice because it was the closest thing to what I do.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing to jazz. So you and I had a connection.
Yeah.
Because you secular.
We had.
You worldly sounded.
But you know what, man? We definitely had a connection because every time we would get together to write a song for one of our albums, Ronald, it was mainly Marvin and Ronald, right? And so, because we would present whatever demos we had.
Yeah.
And so when it came to me, they say, all right, Carvin, we want to hear what demos you got for this album. And so before I would play it, they say, wait, don't play it yet. And they would get a piece of paper, tear it, and roll it up like it was a cigarette. And then they would go, all right, play your stuff.
No way! No.
Yeah, they say, oh, play your stuff. Yeah. No. Yeah, they would focus because they couldn't listen to it unless they had a cigarette in their hand, right? So I was like, you guys are just, it was just a mess, man, trying to get songs with the
I bet
Winans,
you was a
man.
mess in your house with
It
those
was a
brothers.
mess.
This segment sponsored by Sirius XM Watercolors.
Ben Tankard at Sirius XM Watercolors with PJ Faulkner, and he has got quite the combination of talents. Let's see, as you just heard, he is a musician of the highest caliber. He's also a pastor, a former pro basketball player, a reality dad on TV, and a pilot. And you may have seen him at the Seabreeze Jazz Fest last month. Next up for him, the Steel City Jazz Fest, mid-June. Ben Tankard. He's got 2 thumbs up for me on watercolors.
This segment sponsored by Sirius XM Watercolors. The Winans family helped me to cross over. Is I do my first record all keyed up on that LP you saw, and it takes off. And then I get ready to do my second record, and the record company says, you really need a song with a vocal on it, and it's got to have a great hook. Your instrumental, we're going to get that played. People are going to put it behind commercials and stuff, but we really need them to play the song with the other singers and talk about who it is that's singing. You need a guest artist. So I'm like, okay. I talked to one of my musician buddies, Jeff Lowe Davis, drummer.
Right.
I said, Jeff, you think you could get BB and CC to sing on my record or help me write a song? Jeff said, Ben, I love you. I ain't gonna lie to you. It'd be a better chance of a snowball having a condo in hell than
Oh my God.
BB and CC singing on your record. You ain't got no money. You can't handle it.
Oh my God.
He said, what I will do is I'll hook you up with Angie and Debbie.
Yeah.
They just getting started.
Yeah.
So they might give you some love.
Yeah.
When you know it, Angie and Debbie co-wrote Be With You with me. And that thing
Wow.
took off. It took off at JGZ in Detroit and then went worldwide.
Wow.
Be With You.
Yeah.
And it was because of Angie and Debbie. They
Yeah.
didn't charge me either. They
Right.
just
Well, they shouldn't have charged.
they had mercy. That was what, 17, 18?
They wasn't that known. They should have paid you. No, but that's what I'm saying. People, I could tell you a story, man, right quick, because I don't want to make it long, right?
We good.
I'm gonna tell you the story. The Winans, I'm gonna have to go all the way back to my great grandfather, I.W. Winans, who pastored a church, and my grandfather, Carvin, who I was named after, he went to the church. My dad's mom went to the church. This is where my dad was born. And back then, if a girl got pregnant and and they went to church, that was taboo. That was like, what?
Right.
And it wasn't married, right?
Right.
So my grandmother ended up getting pregnant by Carvin, and his dad, I.W. Winans, was the pastor. Of course, there was no DNA back then, right? And so they had a council meeting. They had her family, and she was very young. I don't know, but she was very much younger than Carvin. And they had a council meeting, and they asked, his father asked him, is this your baby? And he denied it. He said, no, it's not mine, And so he said, okay, so when you have the baby, just come back. So she had the baby. They had another council meeting. Well, my dad looked just like Carvin, I guess that's a baby. So
Got it.
his dad told him, I'm mighty afraid since you lied in the church, you'll never have another child. And Carvin never had another child. And so my grandmother never married him. She raised my dad by herself. Now, she raised him with her last name, which is Glenn.
Got it.
Right? David Glenn. So all the, my mom and dad, they got married and started having all these kids, and we were all Glens, right? David Glenn, we were all Glens, yeah. And so his grandfather came to him one day and said, look, I know your dad, because Carvin was not in my dad's life in the beginning at all. And so he said, I know your dad's never done anything for you, but I got all these great-grandkids running around the church, and they don't have my name. He said, now the Bible says, honor your father and mother, that your days may be long, to honor your father and mother.
Right.
Now your daddy, I know he's never done anything for you, but you still should honor him and change your name. And he told him, he said, now if you listen to me and do like I tell you, you'll see to be blessed. The next day, my dad went and changed all our names to Winans.
Wow.
Cece was the first child born with the last name Winans.
Y'all was Glenn's
We were
fault,
Glenn's.
didn't it?
We
So
were
he
Glenn's.
in midstream,
Yep.
it took a lot of tenacity and faith.
Yeah.
And
The next day, he went down and changed our name to
wow.
Winans.
But look what happened.
And the rest was history. Yeah.
Wow.
So it starts with my great-grandfather.
That's all powerful. So, man, don't make me cry over
And
him.
it starts with my great-grandfather.
Wow.
And the fact that my dad was obedient
Mhm.
to listen to him,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And he did that. And every time I see what God is doing with us, I just think about that, because I'm gonna tell you now, the Glenns were very talented.
Mhm.
Gary Glenn wrote Rapture for Nita Baker. He wrote for Earth, Wind and Fire. Bobby sang with Diana Ross. They were a musical family,
Right.
but they didn't do nothing near what God blessed the Winans to do. And I believe with all my heart, Ben, it's because my dad was obedient to what his grandfather.
I believe so too.
I really believe that. So
Wow. Your dad
That's how it
was
started.
your dad was pretty much everybody's dad.
he was.
When
he was.
when he met me, he embraced me. I mean, he started giving me advice, and he had just met me.
yeah.
He started rebuking.
Oh, he'll do
He
that.
said, "No, you can't stay out all night. At some concerts, get back, and don't let nobody come to the hotel with you." I mean, I'm like, I just met this guy.
That was him. That was him for sure.
Wow.
He would do us like that too. He managed us for a while until he wasn't collecting the money. one of the hardest conversations we had to have with him and my mom is that, hey, Dad, we gotta let you go, because after we did the questionnaires, he managed us,
Mhm.
and
He had
But
too
he
much
was-
grace with the promoters.
yeah, it was
Had a
like
forgiving
it was like-
heart.
yeah, exactly. He said he said we get ready to go on. They pay half the thing, and you get the other half before you go on.
Uh-huh.
We get ready to go on. He come back to the dressing room. Look, Dad, they say they don't have the money, and we look out front. The place is packed, right?
Mhm.
So, Dad, what do you mean? Look, you singing for the Lord. You ain't singing. So he would put that on us, right?
He's
And so-
starving. He's talking about.
You sing for the Lord. Don't forget, Dad, we still got to eat. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was him. And he, even growing up, he had a company. Well, it's not a company, but he had this thing called CYB, Community Youth Builders, and where he had his 501c3, I think it's called, where he could get equipment from different sporting goods stores, and he would keep all the kids off the street, just keeping. It wasn't just his kids; it was kids all over the neighborhood that he would just keep off the streets, playing sports, doing all kind of
Got
things to do. But that's because he grew up as the only child.
Right. So he had
And,
that village mentality. It takes a village.
Oh yeah, he
from
had
the get-go.
that big time.
Right.
Big time.
A lot of people don't know this, but you are a twin.
I'm a twin. Yeah,
So Marvin is your twin.
Mara's my twin. He thinks I'm his twin because he thinks he's the oldest of us, but I am. Right.
So him and Michael and Ron. Ron is younger than all of y'all.
No. Okay, let me give you the lineup. David is the oldest.
Okay.
Then it was Ronald.
Okay.
Then me, Marvin.
Mm-hmm.
Then Michael, Daniel, BB, Cece, the first girl born,
Got it.
and then Angie and Debbie.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so tell me about, all of your songs are great, but you got to have a favorite. And everybody has a Google life. You want, there's some things you want to be known for. Like you want to be known for your latest song.
Right.
But usually Google pops up your biggest hit.
Biggest, yeah.
And so for the Winans, you put in Winans, the first thing pop up is Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "Here I stand. Won't you please let me in?" And you said, "I will tomorrow." Jesus said, "I am He who supplies all your needs." And you said, "I know
the Tomorrow story.
And there is a story. Like I said earlier, it was so tough to get a song on the Winans albums, right? So and Marvin was just a great writer. He just was, from the time we were like young teenagers, because we had a raggedy piano around the house, and he was always on it playing and writing stuff when we was out playing football or something. He was out, so he had a book. When we got signed with Andre, he had a book full of songs.
Okay.
Right? But so he was always a great writer, and so I wasn't that great of a writer, because I would bring songs to him and they'd be like, what is that? So when I wrote Tomorrow, the way I did it, I was kind of sneaky with it. I called him one day, because I wrote this song, and I said, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I called him and I said, hey, Marvin, I heard this song, and because we're going to do a new album. He said, what is it? Yeah, I heard this song. So I started saying, Jesus said, here I stand, won't you please let me in? And you said, I will tomorrow. Jesus said, I am he who supplies all your needs. And you said, I know, but tomorrow, I give my... So I did all that. So when I got through with that last thing, he said, man, where did you hear that? I said, you like it? He said, oh my gosh. I said, I wrote it.
If you would have led with you, he would have hated him.
He wouldn't even listen to it. He would have been like, man, I got something to do. I got, from my past history, the songs just wasn't hitting on me.
Right.
And so, but I did have Self on the first album. I had Don't Be Deceived on the second album. But when I sang that to him, he was like, oh my gosh. And it ended up being the title of the album. And I think to date, it is the most streamed Winans song.
Yeah.
It's the most streamed Winans song. But yeah, I snuck that in. But yeah, I think Tomorrow, people like to say I haven't written my favorite song yet, right? But Tomorrow, I think, will always be my favorite. And I wrote for Regina Bell,
Make It Like It Was.
Make It Like It Was. Yeah. And I'll tell you, that's a story too. But Tomorrow is my favorite because I think it has helped so many people in their walk, or even getting.
You said it.
There,
you took the words out of my mouth, Carv. That song is probably one of the most evangelical songs ever written. And it hits you before you know that's what it's doing.
Yeah.
It's evangelizing, and it's bringing you to the altar. It's bringing you to the cross, and you didn't even know you was in church.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it, Doc.
That's true.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And of course, the youngest baby is always the cutest.
Yeah.
So I know what you're recording right now.
Ooh.
You're really passionate about. So
very passionate.
I'm not going to typecast you into Tomorrow, this whole podcast, but I just want to appreciate you for Tomorrow. And let's fast forward to what are you doing now?
Well, we got the new album comes out the 27th of June, and it's called Carvin Winans Cool Gospel. And I'm so excited because I had a chance to work with some great producers. My wife Cherie helped with a lot of the writing with me. We get together. She's so good at hearing beats too, and so we'll get together, and she helps me to pick out these beats from these different producers, and so I had a chance to work with her closely on this. My two sons, Carvin and Juan, they wrote the praise and worship song. We got one praise and worship song on the album.
Now they were in Winans phase two.
Yep,
got it. Yeah.
So they helped me write that, and then my youngest daughter, Layla, she helped write a song with Sean Garrett. I don't know if you know who Sean Garrett is. They call him the Pen. He has like 54 number one hits. So he did 2 songs on this album, and man,
wow,
bangers. And so my youngest daughter, Layla, she helped co-write one of those songs.
She's in the video.
Yeah, she's in the video.
Yeah,
yep,
she's a cute pie too.
She's in the video. Yeah, man, pray, because these guys is getting on my nerves. But anyway, but yeah, so I had, and then the producer on the production side and writer side, Carlos Beatty, who I think is just a genius as a writer and a producer, and he was just phenomenal. Again, Sean Garrett. We worked with Tommy Sims on the praise and worship song. He produced that one. And I just had the song selections off of this album, I think were just, we prayed, and when we got signed to Barry Hankerson, who managed us for years, the Winans, and he had his own label.
Quest, right?
No. Quest was Quincy Jones.
Got it. That's right.
He got us signed with Quincy.
Got it.
Who gave us the biggest record deal we've ever had. Barry Hankerson, who managed the Winans for years, he gave me this opportunity to join his label and do this new album, and he believed in me, and we just put our heads together and got with these producers, and we got to writing, and I was praying, and and man, I'm telling you, I think it's the best body of work God has ever given me. I love this record.
I love it, man. And what I love about you as my brother, I have lived in an area of the niche, sort of a one-man industry.
Mm-hmm.
Think about gospel jazz.
Mm-hmm.
How many out there?
No.
So I've been able to cross over and make a very comfortable living on the smooth jazz side and have a lot of awards on the gospel side, but very little gospel radio.
Right.
And what I love about you is even though your voice is smooth and cool, thus the record, you have not apologized for your style. You have not apologized for your niche. You ain't trying to do the licks of BB or Marvin. You just comfortable in your skin, and you knocking it out the park as you, Doc. I always say just be yourself because everybody else is already taken.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And people love to compare. Man, I'm gonna tell Marvin and I are twins, and he's always been the guy out front because I was quiet as a kid. He's always been the guy out front, and I loved it. And I think he's one of the most talented people walking the earth. And so I never had a jealous bone in my body for any of my family can just sing, And now, then when we had the kids, phase 2, Carvin and Winans was with Baby Mike and Coconut. We call Marvin Jr. Coconut. And so, I never been jealous of any of that. So, but growing up, even before we got famous singing, because Marvin was a preacher, I wasn't, and people would come up to me and say, "Man, I had a preacher come up to me that was in a church that we went to," and he said, "So who were the it was Esau and Jacob, I think it was." So Esau was born first. So I was born first. So this preacher said to me, he said, you came out before Marvin and Esau came out before Jacob. So, you Esau, he Jacob. So I was too young to really.
What kind of revelation?
Oh man, it was like, but then I had somebody say to me, "Hey, they're giving Marvin a surprise birthday party. Are you going to be there?" I am not lying.
You lied on a Wednesday. Oh my God.
I'm not lying, man. They said that. They said, "Are you gonna be there?" I said, "Yeah, I guess."
Sibling rivalry.
But it wasn't. It was somebody outside the family doing that.
Oh my God.
And so I would just laugh, man. And see, I ain't gonna make me not like my brother. Are you kidding me? And so when we started singing, and that goes for everybody that was in our group: Marvin, Ronald, Michael, and myself. We knew what he could do. I knew what Ronald. Nobody could be Ronald but Ronald.
Right.
Ronald could tear a gospel song up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Michael, he didn't do a lot of leads, but he played his part.
Right.
Right. And we never. I remember one time we were performing, and "When You Cry" was hot, and so Marvin got on the piano and started playing the piano like he was gonna lead the song. And he started, and the people just sat there like, "What?" That Then he said, "I'm just kidding, Carvin. You gonna come?" Right. Yeah, I know you kidding. Because your falsetto ain't there. You don't have a falsetto. But but we always we always knew he was who he was.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be him.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna try to be him. But he couldn't be me.
Right.
And neither one of us could be Ronald.
Right.
Or
right,
Michael.
Right.
And so that's how we looked at it. And that's how my dad raised us.
You ever had any ignoramus program announcers or guys that was, MC that was just didn't even know who you all were individually. I
know.
I did a concert in Mississippi about 7 years ago, and everybody knows I don't sing. Well, I said now it's instrumental jazz.
Right.
This dude didn't do his homework, so he gonna introduce me in Mississippi. Y'all get ready. Donnie McClurkin, he can't sing.
Oh my God.
Fred Hammond, he can't sing. Y'all getting ready to hear some singing. Y'all stand on your feet and give it up for Ben Tucker. First of all, Tucker. And then second of all, you done set me up. I got to come.
Oh my God.
And I'm saying Donnie McClurkin
and Fred Hammond.
Hammond.
They would do. I remember being at a concert. I didn't have to sing. I was in the audience with Marvin and Kim Burrell, I think, and Donnie was on stage singing. I think it was his concert, and he came off the stage. And he would hand the mic. Like you said, people doing riffs.
Mm-hmm.
I have a certain riff I might do, but I don't riff like them.
Mm-hmm.
So he came and put the mic in my face. I said, "You ain't gonna have me,
Come on.
Looking silly.
Yeah,
I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that. And even if I did do that, I probably wouldn't have did it. But I don't do that. I'm me. I have to. And that's why when I said that I wanted to stop singing, God said, no, you can't. When Ronald passed, I was just like, what's the use?
Yeah.
He was such a big part of us, and I just didn't feel like it. And so my wife and Marvin talked me into doing the thing that we did with BB, Three Winans Brothers, right? So I did that with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then God let me know through that, look, I'm not finished with you. And I didn't give you a gift to sit on it, because I was a writer and I was a critical part of the Winans. But when Ronald passed, to me, the Winans was no more.
The wind went out your sails.
It went out.
Yeah.
It just went out. I just didn't. And I was living in
Toronto
at the time.
Talk about that, because I think sometimes we as a people, we will flip through social media, we'll flip through bios, and we settle on the awards. We settle on the cars, the planes, the clothes, the jewelry. We settle on those things. But I don't think we hear enough about what you did when you was in the valley, what you did when there was a pivot, when you wanted to quit. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, we grew up and we always had to work.
Mm-hmm.
You come from a family of 10, you got to work. And so I've been working since I was 12, whether it be passing out pamphlets from door to door. My mom and dad had us working.
Mm-hmm.
I started working at a place called Coney Island, a hot dog place, when I was 14, and getting paid really good under the table. My dad, who I miss so much, especially when Father's Day come along, sometimes I just break down because I miss him so much.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God my mom is still here and doing well and looking great, and just, but he's not here. But he taught us so much, my mom and my dad. And I was kind of like a daddy's boy,
Mm-hmm.
And so he taught us, if you're in trouble, you call Jesus, I can't be everywhere. I got 10 kids. And my dad was funny,
Mm-hmm.
and he would say stuff in a funny way.
This segment powered by Big Baller Brand.
Full Tank Podcast from the bench. Here's the question. How does a man get over heartbreak that he caused?
I would say you got to find out why you caused it and then don't do it again.
Yeah, the first stage is admitting.
So you caused the heartache. It don't even have to be relationships. It could be your mom, your cousin, your best friend. How do you get over it when you know it's your fault? Come to Destiny Center. I'll show you how to get over that stuff. Come to church.
This segment powered by Big Baller Brand. Visit BigBallerBrandInc.com for the latest releases in clothing, shoes, shoes, and more. Triple B, Big Baller Brand.
I remember going to work at 17, and these guys came in to rob us in the middle of winter. It was like February. I never will forget this. And I wasn't saved at the time. And so they came in. I was on the phone talking some foolishness to some girl, and I told her I had to get off the phone because they go up front because we had some customers come in. So I went up front. The two guys, one guy asked my partner gave his order, and the other guy gave me the order. After they gave the order, we had different cash registers. So I was ringing one guy up. He was ringing the other guy up. So when I asked for the money, he put out a gun. And his partner pulled out a gun on the guy I was working with. And all I could think about was what my dad said. He said, y'all better learn to call on Jesus because I can't be everywhere. You know. And that's what I did. I raised my hands and said, oh, the blood of Jesus. I kept calling Jesus. And the guy said, y'all got money in the back? I said, we sure do. I wasn't trying to be no hero, you know. And he put the gun on my side and pushed me in the back. And when we gave him all the money, he said, all right, is that it? I said, that's it. We ain't got nothing else. He said, all right, get on the floor. Put your head to the ground. And that's what I did. He put the gun right to the back of my head. But I kept saying Jesus. Wow. And he said, if you scream, I'll blow your brains. I said, I ain't going to scream. I just kept saying. He stood there for the longest. Next thing you know, he turned and he walked away.
Wow.
And that was on a Saturday. That Sunday, you couldn't keep me from the altar.
I know. You know,
And
I think your dad used to tell that in his concerts.
Yeah, he may have. Because he was so heartbroken. When I called him, I called home. I said, my mom answered the phone and said, Mom, we just got robbed. And she said, Skippy, go get Butch. They just got robbed. So he drove up there. And the owner, he wouldn't even let me go home. I had to stay the whole shift. This is what I really want people to know. Okay, so we move fast forward. I got 5 Grammys that I've won, right? So I get ready to marry Cherie. I moved to Toronto. Well, at that time, I think it's called, was it NAFTA that had that where they could steal music?
Right.
It was during that time. So the music business was like way down.
Napster, yeah.
Napster, that's what it's called. So I moved to Toronto and thinking that I could get a fresh start in music, right? And so you get there, and then Cherie had to sponsor me to even be able to work, right? Because you can't just go to another country and work. You have to get your green card or whatever.
Oh, that's international.
International, yeah.
Oh, even though it's right across the street from Detroit,
that's
still
yeah.
international.
Yep.
Got it.
And so so I'm waiting for that to happen. You know, Cherie was always working, you know, and keeping things afloat, and I would get dinner. There's so much I need to tell these young men. You know, I would make sure dinner was ready when she got home. I wouldn't even eat until she ate, because she was the one bringing in the bacon, you know? And so I did everything, because my mom, she had 7 boys, so she taught us how to do everything, clean dishes, wash clothes. I was doing all of that, you know? And so when it did come time for me to I could get a job, then, you know, the music business was not happening.
Right.
It wasn't happening.
Right.
So I told Cherie, I said, honey, I got to get it. I got to work. I've been working since I was 12. I can't just sit around the house. Yeah, I got 5 Grammys. What is that doing? You know? And so we saw advertisement at a dealership, car dealership, washing cars. So I put in for that. She made my resume, which had all music. At that time, we had did Man in the Mirror with Michael Jackson. We had worked with everybody you could imagine.
Hold up, Carvin. Hold up. You ain't got to be lying on a Wednesday.
What?
5 Grammys. 5 Grammys. And the industry tanks, and you got to go to work and get a regular job?
Oh, get a regular job. I ain't no problem with that.
With 5 Grammys.
5 Grammys. This is what happened. Cherie did the resume for me, which had nothing but Grammys, and because that's all I had done.
That was what you done, yeah.
And so I take it in, and I give it to the owner. It was Volkswagen. His name was John Verway, and I gave it to the owner, and he called his car sales rep over there, the manager, And they looked at the resume and they said, what job are you applying for? I said, washing cars. And he said, you got 5 Grammys? I said, yes, sir, I do. And he said, and you would wash cars? I said, I need a job, you know? And so then he looked at it again. He said, you've worked with Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, you was on Man in the Mirror? I said, yes, sir. He said, and you would wash cars? I said, sir, I need a job. Yes, I wash cars.
Wow.
So then he said, I can't have you washing cars. I said, why not? He said, no. He said, have you ever sold cars? I said, nope. He said, well, we may have a position opening up soon, so just give me a call back, you know. So I went home. I was kind of disappointed. I went home, and I called that man every day. I said, is the position open? He said, no. I said, well, let me wash cars. And he said, no. Called him back.
He had the shame, not you.
He finally told me, all right, come on. So he gave me a job washing cars. Every day he was bringing somebody to the wash bay to introduce me to. This guy got 5 Grammys.
You signing autographs washing cars.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was doing. But that's what people don't. The Bible says, if you humble yourself, God will make you. He will exalt you.
Right.
If you exalt yourself, He'll make you a base.
But Jesus walked among the people.
Yes.
Jesus didn't have no security.
No.
He didn't have, what Adam 12.
Right.
Get out the way. Here come Jesus.
Exactly. No,
you know?
he didn't have that.
But I've always admired you, but it's going to another level today. Because I never knew that about you.
No, and that's what that's why I'm so glad to do this album. And it's not just the music, because I do love the music, but
it's a comeback story.
It's a comeback. It's a platform where I can let people know, even when it comes to dealing with marriage. I've been through a divorce. Even when it comes to things not going your way, you humble yourself. You get a job. What's wrong with having? People will say too, well, he sold drugs, but he was doing what he had to do. No, I don't think you have to do that. That's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have to watch cars. It was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I could have waited. No, I could have been like, yeah, I got a gift. No.
So what you was doing is not who you are.
Exactly.
So God's still working on it.
He's still working on it. Absolutely.
We got an under construction sign on our forehead.
That's right.
And so, because people, I say this all the time, people will put a period behind your name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jeff. He dropped out of college.
Right.
Period. But God says, comma. He turns that period into a comma.
That's right.
There's Jeff the dropout, comma, father, comma, minister, comma, speaker,
Right.
comma, businessman.
Right.
And so you kept it moving, Doc.
Oh yeah, kept it moving. I had to. And then, I washed cars. I sold cars because my wife, she was always the assistant to different presidents, and a lot of them were in the car business. She was assistant, so she helped me get a job at BMW. But you talk about the worst car salesman. I was horrible, man. I tell you the truth. And I sold a bunch of cars. But ask me, do I know anything about these cars I sold? No, because they give you a big stack of books to read, and I ain't really never been big on reading nothing but the Bible, to tell you the truth. And so I just didn't know. I tried to sell with my personality. I had people come in and say, did you know they would know more about the car than I want? Did you know that this car has such and such? I was like, yeah, it does.
So you had to distract him with tomorrow to get the sale. Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. I used everything I could to get the sale, and I would get it.
Wow.
But so I wasn't good at selling cars.
Can I brag on your wife just a minute?
Yeah.
Your wife and my wife are what I label as kingmakers.
Yeah, I agree.
Women only come in 2 flavors: kingmaker or king breaker.
No, Sheree's a maker.
It's the same floor plan.
Yeah.
The same floor plan, just different sound package.
Yeah.
And all women are gold diggers. It's either going to be GOAL, gold digging. Honey, what's on your heart? What's our goals? What's next?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next comma?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be GOLD.
Right.
And so hats off to
because for real, because and
she
I
saw something you did sometimes you didn't even see yourself. She pulled you up.
She was the and still today has just been the best thing ever happened to me.
She's anti social media. Because when you go on social media, it's the battle of the sexes.
Yeah.
They got all these demands on, he can't even talk to me unless he's making 6 figures. He can't talk to me unless I'm not eating that Cheesecake Factory. I thought Cheesecake Factory was pretty good. No,
it wasn't.
I love Cheesecake Factory, especially with the lettuce wraps, with the with the little peanuts. I mean, what's wrong with Cheesecake Factory?
Nothing.
But all these demand people got so many demands, and then men they're wanting, somebody that would do this for them and do that, but they don't want to bring anything to the table.
Right.
I'm like, man, we got to get away with that.
Yeah, we really
it's
do.
a partnership.
It is.
The marriage is the strongest partnership that God created.
That's right.
Other than him and us.
That's right.
The next connection is man and wife. You get a man and woman that can agree on something.
That's right.
You can knock it out the park.
Knock it out the park, bro. And that's what it's been. Cherie has been, oh my God, I can't even explain it, man. Because again, I'm looking at the times we were in and the music wasn't happening and she was carrying the load. She never complained about that, and I felt the way that I felt. If you're going to carry the load, then I'm going to make sure when you get home, you ain't carrying no load.
So what you're saying is, listen, I'm between millions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to get back on the horse, but I'm not going to sit home and be depressed and suicidal while you bringing the bacon.
Exactly.
The least thing I can do is help out with the house.
That's right.
Have a vision board. Rub your feet with some oil when you get home. Give you some appreciation for you, tipping the scales here.
That's right.
And then when you come back to get the next 5 Grammys, you can retire.
That's right. Absolutely. That's the plan.
Come on now.
That's it.
And you're on your way because you're number 1 today.
Yeah, number 1.
Number 1 record, the number 1 gospel record in the world right now.
No. Ain't that something, man? That's something.
It
was like when we did Make It Like It Was for Regina Bell, I had written that for the Winans. And again, we get ready to do Decisions album. I played it. This time they liked it. They liked it. Oh yeah, that's nice. But we don't think it's for this album. I said, y'all really don't. So I would always keep demos in my pocket. And I saw Regina at a Grammy thing, and I gave it to her. I said, hey, I heard you in the studio. Check this out, see if you might want to record it. She called me back 2 days later. She played it for CBS, and they loved it.
Wow.
So they flew me down because she wanted to make sure that she did it just the way the demo was. She didn't change a note. She didn't change a lyric. And basically, Make It Like It Was talking about I wasn't praying the way I used to.
Got it.
I wasn't doing the things I knew I should have been doing when it comes to my walk with Christ. And I was asking God, make it like it was, like it used to be.
The first love, when we first got saved.
Yeah.
This segment empowered by CrefloDollarMinistries.org. Understanding grace, empowering change.
Ain't nothing like Creflo Dollar to change our script, boy. He get us on the right track. Give it up for Pastor Creflo A. Dollar. Jewel has an anointing in her own right. She's a financial whiz. She's a woman of God. She can preach. She's the preacher. I'm the teacher. She has her own schedule. So sometimes I get to go with her to the big women's conference. And we're in the hotel. They give us the honeymoon suite. I don't want it to go to waste. So she's meditating, trying to get ready for the message. And so I want to, put on the, the Luther. How many Lutherans we got here? I'm trying to flirt with her, and she said, honey, leave me alone. I got to preach to 4,000 women. I said, baby, I'm just trying to help you, lay hands on you. And so I kept on bugging. She said, honey, leave me alone. I'm trying to get into Jesus. I say, Jesus is in me. Don't that mean
when you going to the graveyard praying to get people out?
I never did that. But
you were deep when you first got saved.
I ain't gonna act like I was Marvin Arano because they was deep. I wasn't that deep. But that's what it was about. She didn't change anything. It went number 1 R&B. We knocked Quincy Jones out of the number 1 spot.
Wow.
Quincy came to our dressing room. We were doing Arsenio Hall together, and he came to the dressing room. He said, which one of y'all knocked me out the number one spot? So Marvin said, oh, that's Carvin. Carvin did that. So Quincy pulled me in the hall. He said, man, I've always loved your melodies. And we were signed to Quincy. And but I didn't know he had paid that much attention to my writing.
Right.
But he started just naming off songs I had written. And I said, wow,
Wow.
And so, the Make It Like It was for the Winans, but I guess it wasn't because God said he wanted it for Regina.
I want you to talk to our audience who is very smart. Most of the people that follow us are more than one trick ponies. We believe in the next comma. And so you've done a great job at following the voice, that inner voice, which I believe is the Holy Spirit that leads you. Like you're driving down the road, something says, something, go a different direction today. Turn left here.
That's right.
And when you do, you miss the accident, you miss the turnover semi.
That's right.
And so you've done a good job over the years. I know you've had your valleys and your peaks and your mistakes, but you've done a good job of obeying that spirit. How can you tell our audience how to develop that gift? Because that will help you in whatever business you're in, whether it's the next song or the next venture, the next real estate or investment, whatever they're doing, that voice will help them.
The thing that does it for me, that has helped me, is prayer. I have a prayer time every morning, 6:30 to 7:30. Sometimes I go past 7:30. If I have to take my daughter to college, I have to get up earlier. So I may get up at 5:30, but I'm going to get that hour in. That's the first thing I'm going to do in the morning. Prayer, because that's the only way I can communicate with God, period. And so I found myself praying and staying in prayer. And even when things are not going right, you just keep that prayer time. Because believe me, even on this journey now that I'm on, right? I moved out to California to help a guy that he said he was starting a record label. He had all this money and signed a contract to get paid, I think, $250,000 a year, and moved my daughter from Toronto to L.A. In her 12th grade year. My wife was still in Toronto because we were going to rent our house out that we have there. So she's there. I'm here with my daughter, and come to find out, when I go to start my first day of work, and I'm shortening this, I go to start, and when I go to the office, there's a lady in there, and she's a realtor. So I wonder why she's in there. I say, excuse me, I'm here to start work. She said, start work? She said, yeah. I said, yeah. She said, for who? So I told her the guy's name in the company, and she said, I never heard of him or that company. She said, I'm the realtor and nobody's rented this spot. I said, are you kidding me?
Huh?
Yeah, I got a place in Rancho Cucamonga, that would have been easy to pay for if I was making this salary, right? And believe me, we did our homework on this guy. And we thought, he walked us through the building. My wife and my two younger daughters were there. And another guy that's going to come on board with me as my assistant. He walked us through the building. Come to find out, this guy was a total scam.
Oh, my God. And you done relocated?
I done relocated,
all the
took
way
my
to
daughter out of high school, put her in high school. My wife is back in Toronto. And this man, I was supposed to start September 15th, which I was there. When the lady said nobody's rented the place, it was like the wind was just out of me, right? And I go back to the car, and I tell my guy Dorian, who was going to work with me, what had happened, because he said he could look on my face till something happened. So I told him. He said, "What?" So we tried to call the guy. His name was Cameron. We tried to call him. He wouldn't pick up. We called another guy. Now he had an office in Arizona that I saw over Zoom or whatever, and he had people working there, and so when I couldn't reach him, I called the other guy that worked there. I told him, and we became good friends, me and the other guy that worked for him, because he ended up doing that to all of us.
Wow.
And so when I told him what happened, he called Cameron, and then the guy called me back and said, Cameron said that lady don't know what she's talking about. I got the key. I'm just waiting to get the keys. So he just stuck with that lie, right? So he said, just work from home, Carvin, blah, blah, blah. So I was just trying to get people who I thought I want to sign and all that. And we supposed to get paid the 15th of September. Nothing.
Ghosts. Crickets.
Then the 15th of October, nothing. Ghosts. I call him. Oh, he always had an excuse. The bank didn't do this, or And I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So of course I had to tell Shree what was going on. And then so I said, Lord Jesus, but I kept my prayer hour. I don't care. I mean, it was nights I went to sleep crying because I could hear my daughter crying. She was crying,
But you kept your prayer.
But I kept my prayer time.
Good night, nurse.
And didn't know because I maxed everything. I had to rent a car. I had to pay for. I maxed everything out. I didn't know where I was gonna get groceries because I'm trying to keep believing this guy. He, and he just lied through the whole time. And so I had to pray and pray. Didn't have furniture. Me and Layla was sleeping on a blow-up mattress. I was sleeping on a blow-up mattress in my room. Shree was at home crying because she can't be with neither one of us. And so I said, Lord, I know you had me come out here for a reason. Wow. So I'm just praying. Then I get a call from Cheryl Underwood, who's a comedian.
Yeah.
And what we did, me and Layla, to kind of get away from all the mess that was going on, we would go to the different shows in LA. And she was on the Talk at the time.
Got it.
And I had met Cheryl, and so we would go backstage and talk and whatever. So then she called me one day. She said, and I hadn't even told her the story. So she told me, she said, Carvin, I want you to be on my podcast. I said, really? I never did a podcast. She said, I want you to be on my podcast and be like the spiritual guy to bring the word. And I said, okay. And she paid me good money, brother.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, Lord, all right. That's a miracle. So then we had furniture we had to try to get to the thing because, again, my money was going right to the rent. Right. But God blessed me to get some furniture in.
Wow.
And then the next thing you know, I get a call from Barry to sign a contract, just like a year or so later.
Wow.
So God, but again, I tell people, prayer is for real, and God ain't gonna never let you. He promised us He would always supply your every need.
Wow.
He might not make you rich overnight, but He gonna supply your every need.
Right.
And then He said, "I'll make you rich and add no sorrow to it."
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
So He always supplied my need. Next thing you know, I'm getting offered a 4-year album deal.
Come on, Carvin.
By
and you're number
Records
one today.
and I'm number one today. And so
So the moral of the story is
pray.
Prayer, but also with 5 Grammys and 25 cents, you can make a phone call.
That's
right. Because we just had what's the girl? Glorilla won Gospel Song of the Year with BET Award.
Right.
Fine. The people that vote on BET, to them, Kirk Franklin is the only gospel artist out there. And anything associated with him, they're going to vote for it. It's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
That's just part of it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Most of the time
But we got people that was posting, I can't believe that heathen, they gave that heathen the gospel record. And people were getting mad and in their feelings. And I'm like, listen, don't get mad because that award and 25 cents, you can make a phone call. Just do what God called you to do.
Right.
And you're going to get what God got for you. You don't have to get mad because somebody else got an award.
Nobody, I tell people this all the time, nobody can take what God has for you.
Come on.
Nobody can take it. He ain't sitting there saying, oop, I'm sorry. It was supposed to go to him.
Right.
God ain't saying that.
Right.
What's yours, He going to have for you. And then like David said, Lord, don't make me too rich because I might forget you. But don't make me too poor now because I might steal. And I don't want to steal. And so, and neither do I want to forget you either. So just give me the convenience of life.
Man, this has been so powerful. So, pivots. So you're back on top with the music. So what's next? What's the next coming?
Man, the next, you know what I would want to do? I want to do a podcast. I want to grow up like you, Ben, and do a podcast because I kind of like talking. I kind of like telling people
You're good at it.
my stories and to help because it helps people. People, man, you know, we in some tough times out here, and people just don't think they can make it.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell people, look, God is not sleeping. He sees everything that you're going through. He knows what you're going through, and He's there for you. Period.
Yeah.
I can say that, man, with a guarantee.
Well, I got
He's
you.
done it for
I
me.
got you. That I am a rookie podcaster.
Well, you don't seem like
You
it.
know, this is episode number 9 that we've shot. Tassie has helped me put this. I went to a podcast convention in Atlanta a year ago, by David Shands, and it's called the Podcast Summit. I didn't know nothing about podcasting, but I knew everybody was talking about podcasts, especially my daughters and my young adult children. And they was like, podcast this, podcast that. I was like, what's up with this podcast thing? So I went to the Podcast Summit.
Yeah.
And I found out that there are so many 7-figure podcasters out there.
Wow.
And that this is the fastest growing medium, period.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger than TV. And that people over 40 are doing the best at it because they're considered the experts.
Yeah.
They've made the mistakes. They've been to the valley. They've been bankrupt. They've been divorced.
Right.
And they're not afraid of challenge. And so they're the ones that starting these YouTube channels and stuff and getting these millions of followers. And so I just put the money into the equipment, start watching the YouTube videos and stuff, and we still trying to figure it out.
But what I love, Ben, is kind of like you like the Winans in this respect, that when we got into the music business, we wanted to do it right, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to, we wanted our records to be able to come behind
High quality
R&B records.
Yes, sir.
So if they play the Jackson 5 and you play the Winans, you ain't gonna see too much of a difference when it comes to
Yes,
production.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So that's what we want. And you're doing the same thing with podcast.
Thank you.
Because when you wanted me to do the podcast, and of course I was going to do it, I said, this is Ben Tankard, man. I've always had a love for you as a person and for your craft. And so we put it on, and sometimes you'll put something on and you'll be like, man, I said I would do it, so I got to do it, But man, when I put your stuff on, I said, man, Ben and did it again. He
I
done did it
appreciate
again, man, because it was such quality.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. I couldn't wait to get it today
Wow.
because I was like, man, this is gonna be good.
You're gonna make
man.
a brother cry. Big old 6'6", bro.
No.
Make my shoulders move.
But you do such a good job, man. And I've always been one to give people their flowers, man. I'm writing a song. It says, giving you your flowers now. Want everyone to know just how I feel. It couldn't be much better. You've been a blessing to me and how. And if you didn't know, you know it now. You've made every day much brighter. So I'm giving you your flowers now.
Wow, that's going to be here too, man. If we want to reach you, people want to reach you, they want to book you, they want you to come talk to their music people, they want you to come to their podcast. Look into that camera and tell us how to reach you.
You can just go to carvinwinans.com, which has all the information. My website has everything on there. Also, I'm going to be doing music lessons virtually. So you can see that on there. And all the social media. Is it social media, honey? I'm saying it right? Because you'll get away. All the social media streaming sites. Everything. You'll be able to see everything that I'm doing, and also where the record is being played, and the new album where you can get it on all the platforms. Yeah.
Still trying to figure it out as a rookie podcaster, but this guy is making me look good today, man. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Man, thank you, my brother.
And I know you got a lot of records and stuff, and you can get as a book in you. You do some lessons and everything, but ain't you guys going on tour too?
Yeah, thank God we're going on tour. Fred Hammond, who I love tremendously, who started out his career with the Winans, is bringing me on his tour.
Oh.
And that starts in October. It'll be myself, Fred Hammond, I think the Clark sisters, Marvin Sapp, Donnie McClurkin, Dietrich Haddon. And so I'm glad to be joining the Detroit crew.
The Detroit crew.
Yeah, Detroit Legends of Gospel. That's what the tour is called.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you know, I
it's gonna be
married a
fun.
Detroit girl.
Yes, you
so
did.
I'm Detroit
Yes, you
twice
did.
removed. So tell Fred if he needs some smooth jazz,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm telling you,
slide
man.
a brother in there. Man,
Yeah.
we're so proud of you, man. And,
Thank you, man.
I want to encourage anyone that wants to get into podcasting, into music, you know, make sure you just reach out to us. You know, we don't meet any strangers. And this guy here, I hadn't seen him in several years, but we just picked up where we left off.
Oh, yeah.
Brother from another mother.
Yes, sir.
See you next time on Full Tank Podcast. We love you guys. Look for the next comma. We'll see you next time.
You are enjoying the Full Tank Podcast, sponsored in part by Faith Words. Want a taste of my best-selling book, The Full Tank Life? Go to thefulltanklife.com and pull down a free sample chapter and order the book.
Today, my friend Ben Tankard has become known as the Godfather of gospel jazz. He sold millions of albums, pastors a church, travels the world sharing his music. Like with Ben, God is working behind the scenes, lining up what you need.
Please listen carefully.